Welcome to the class of database and management system. Today I am going to discuss about database users, DBA, what will be the role of the data storage and query processing in database management system. So these are various types of topics that I am going to discuss about today. So what will be the first of all we are supposed to conclude about the objective of the today's lecture. Today I am going to tell you about the database users, database administrator, database queries, what is database architecture, so what is the role of learning the same. So, how the database will be managed by the administrator, how the database will be used by the users so that they can efficiently handle the database. Outcome will be effective management of the database. So, starting with the database users, what are database users? As the name implies, database users. So, what are database users? Who can use the database in an effective manner, but there are various types of database users that are available, because according to the privileges that are given to a particular database user, they could be classified, because some users have certain access to the particular parts of the database, others might not have the same rights. So in this manner, on the base of privileges, I'm going to define about the categories of the database users. So let's discuss about the same. What are database users? First of all, what is user? Users are differentiated by the way they expect to interact with the system, or they expect to interact with the database. Mean to say, users are differentiated, mean to say there will be different categories of the users that are available, in which in according to the way they are going to interact with the system. If it is the end level user, then how the database could be fetched according to the end user level. If I am the part of the organization and I want to assess certain details, then there could be certain privileges that are given to me according to my position or according to my rights. So similarly, there are various types of users. Let's discuss one by one. First one is application programmers. What are application programmers? That interact with system through data manipulation language calls. If they are supposed to modify the data that is concerned with the database, then they can easily do this under the category of the application programmers. Next is sophisticated users. What are sophisticated users? Form request in the database query language so that their queries can be handled in the effective manner. Next is specialized users, write specialized database applications, who are having the special access to write the database applications that do not fit into the traditional data processing frameworks. Next is naive users, that is invoke one of the permanent application program that have been written previously. For example, people accessing the database over the web, bank tellers, clerical staff. So these are all the naive users, or I can say end users, who do not know about the internal details of the system. But specialized users, they can write the specialized database applications, who are using the application in an effective manner. Next is database administrator. What is the role of the database administrator? As the name implies, administer. Administer mean to say he can handle all the requests of the database. He is the, I can say, the director of the database, and he is having the subparts. Like, if he is the administrator, he has given the privileges to the to its sub managers who are working under him, and again sub managers are further giving permissions to the particular department so that they can fetch the data. And in particular department, each member of the department is having the rights, who is working, who is reporting directly to the manager, and all the managers are collaboratively working for the administrator. So in this way the database is handled. You can form various sub parts in the form of the tree, or I can say you can maintain a hierarchy in which the database could be interacted with by the users who are using the database in an effective manner. So administrator role is the single point of contact who is handling all the operations, all the queries of the database by sitting at the one position, but he is having various persons under him who are working for him, so that they can achieve the single target of the organization, that is the central level of the organization, to manage the data at the central level. So it will coordinate all the activities of the database. How it could coordinate all the activities? By having the subordinates who can interact with each other, who can exchange data with each other, and in the end they will generate a report that could be fed to the database administrator. So in this way the database administrator handle all the processing of the database management system for a particular organization. So first point is coordinate all the activities of the database system. So the major point of concern is it has a good understanding of the enterprise information resources and needs. For what organization he is working for, he should be having all the resources. Information resources mean to say from where the information could be fetched, what is to be done in the database, how the information is to be stored, how the database is to be handled in the database, and what type of queries will be raised in the database, and who will assess the database. All the major and the minor details will come under the information resources, and what is the need of maintaining this database, and it is concerned with privacy and security issues as well. So all the if and buts of the database for a particular organization could be understood by the administrator. Second point is database administrator duties include. What are the major responsibilities of the database administrator? It can handle the storage structure. First of all, if he is going to handle the database of a particular organization, then he has to first arrange the structure, arrange the schema of the database in which he is supposed to store the information. So the major point of concern is storage structure, in which he will store the information in a particular fashion, or in the structure or the schema that is given to him by the organization. And various access method definition. So first point is to define the database, that is data definition language, to define the storage structure, to define the schema, to define the access methods definition. It could be covered as the first and major duty of the database administrator. So second is schema and physical organization modification. So what is that? Schema mean to say what are the fields that are going to be there in the database, what type of information that is going to be stored in the database about a particular entity. For example, employee entity is there, so I am going to store what type of information about employee. I can say, for example, employee ID, employee qualification, employee date of birth. So what types of attributes will be there that I am going to store about the employee's information? So that is why the second duty of the database administrator is to physically organize the data modification in the database. Third is granting users authority to access the database. Now what does that mean? To give the privileges to certain people who are working in the organization, so that they can have access to the data anytime, anywhere, or whenever the data is required. So it is the responsibility of the database administrator to grant the authority, to give the privileges to the right person in the organization, so that they do not faced any difficulty while they are handling the database, while they are retrieving any details from the database, or while they are providing any details to the database administrator. So next is backing up data. Why there is the need of backing up data? Because in certain cases there could be a natural disaster. For example, floods could be there, or system crash could be there, or power failure could be there. So in that case, how the database administrator could handle the disasters in a certain way, and how could he turned out to be winner in that situation? Because database is the crucial part of the organization, and it is not a thing that that could be lost, or that could be crashed due to some major faults, but there could be a proper recovery and backup mechanism could be there, so that if any disaster arises, he or she could handle the database in an effective manner. Next is to monitor the performance. Monitor the performance mean to say to monitor the efficiency of the queries at which the queries are getting processed. Mean to say, if I am supposed to fetch any data from the computer science department, and I raised a query to the administrator that I want this and that details for my department. For example, I require some data for the activity that was held in the organization, and I am asking them to provide me the details till 4 p.m., or I am giving them the time duration of 2 hours. Then they are supposed to give me that information, or they are supposed to supposed to give response to my query that I am arising, because it is concerned with the performance of the database, how the database is handling the queries in the particular interval of time. Like they are handling queries instantly or not, or there is a delay in handling the queries in the database. So that is why it is concerned with monitoring the performance and responding to the changes. If there are any changes that are required according to the need, then it must respond to that changes in a quick manner. For example, database tuning is given as an example. So next is I hope you understand about what is database user, what is the role of DBA. Just have a look at the two slides. If you are having any queries, you can ask me what is database user, what are the types of database users, who can use the what is the example of using the particular category of the database user, and next is the roles and duties of the DBA. I am giving you the time of 1 minute. Just have a look at both the slides. If you are having any query regarding the same, you can ask me. Next is data storage and querying. Data storage and querying, what does that mean? Data storage, how to store the data, and how to fetch that data with the help of some query. So that is why it is written here, data storage and querying. So there are three major concerns, or I can say there are three major subtopics that are concerned with data storage and querying. So the first one is storage management, how the data could be stored and how it could be managed in the database. Next is how to handle the query, how to fetch the data from the database with the help of some queries that are being raised. Next is transaction processing, how my transaction will proceed in database. Like if I am supposed to do any transaction, then how that could be proceed. So we have already discussed the in detail about the storage management, query processing yesterday. I discussed about various queries of SQL, how to fetch that queries, what will be the syntax of that query, and how the data will be fetched by applying that particular query. So that was concerned with query processing. And next is transaction processing, how transactions will be handled, how transactions will be processed in the database. So we are going to discuss about these three topics. So first is storage management. What is storage management? As the name implies, storage management, it is concerned with how to store the data and how it could be managed in the database. Storage manager is the program module that provides the interface between low level data stored in the database and the application programs and queries submitted to the system. So storage manager, if he is storing the data, then it could be the data that is stored according to a particular structure laid by the organization. If anybody want to fetch that data with the help of some queries, with the help of some questions that could be raised, then he could be then management is storage management is responsible for handling those queries in the effective manner. So next is the storage manager is responsible to the following tasks. The first one is interaction with the file manager, where the data is stored and who is handling the files, who is the manager of those data, who is the manager of the data, who is uh, who is held responsible for the data that is stored. For example, I am giving you the example, in your class, if I am giving you the if I ask you any query regarding the uh, regarding my assignment, and I am assigning one person who can handle, I explain the whole process to one person of your class. I can say who is the class monitor of your class, and then who is the class monitor, and then I ask him that I will retrieve all the data that is related to the assignment from your side. And he says, okay, I will give you all the details relating to all the students of the class. So he will be the manager of handling the queries, because I told him about the queries that could be raised by the students of the class. So in the same manner, file manager will be the will be having the sole responsibility of handling the management system. So interaction with the file manager, who is responsible for handling all the queries that could be raised. And next is efficient storing. Efficient storing mean to say, uh, storing could be done in such a way that if anybody needs that data, it could be available to that person in a quick manner. Next is to retrieve the data, to update the data. So there are various issues that are concerned with storage management. First is storage access, next is file organization, third is indexing and hashing. So how the storage could be assessed, how the files could be organized, and third is how the indexing could be done. Indexing mean to say to retrieve the data without any hustle and bustle, so that I can directly point to a particular file in the database. So this is the these are the major issues of the storage management. Next is query processing, how the query will be processed in the database. So there are three major concerns regarding query processing. First is parsing and translation, second is optimization, third is evaluation. So first is parsing and translation, how a parsing could be done, how translation could be done. Parsing could be in the form of top down or bottom up, if I am managing data from top to bottom, or I am following the strategy of bottom to top. So this is my technique that I am going to follow in the parsing. Next is translation, how the data could be translated, how the query could be translated. So next is optimization. Optimization mean to say, to optimize mean to say, like I am giving you the practical example, just wait. Have a look at this. First, the query is raised. Parser and translator is translating the query. Parser, the technique that will be used, and the translator who is translating the queries. Then there will be the expressions, mathematical expressions that will be used. Then optimize. Optimize mean to say the best expression or the best strategy could be picked, and then there will be the execution plan in accordance with the technique that is being picked. And optimization is also concerned with statistics about the data, which is the best technique, so that it can pick the best technique, and then execution plan will be there for that particular technique. Then evaluation engine is there, who is evaluating the data on various formats or on various grounds, and then the query will be output in this manner. So you can have a look at the query processing technique. First, the query will be there, then parser and translator will be there, relational algebra expression. How optimization could be done? This is having the mathematical relation. I will explain you in the query part how it could be handled. So next is the execution plan according to the best picked technique. Then evaluation engine is there to which the data is fed, and then query will be output. So next is query processing. What is the main procedure behind the query processing? So alternative ways of evaluating a given query. It is concerned with equivalent expressions, different algorithms for each operation. Second is cost difference between a good and a bad way of evaluating a query can be enormous, because that is why they are using the optimizer. Next is need to estimate the cost of the operation, and there are certain factors that are to be concerned, that are concerned with the estimating the cost of the operation. For example, it depends critically on the statistical information about, statistical mean to say mathematical information about relations which the database must maintain. Second concern is need to estimate the statistics for intermediate results to compute cost of the complex expressions. Third is transaction management. um, how transaction will be managed in the database management system. So first is what is transaction. A transaction is a collection of operation that performs the single logical function in the database application. Transaction management component. Second is transaction management component. It ensures that the database remains in the consistent correct state despite system failure, power failure, or operating system crashes and transaction failure. Next is concurrency control manager, that controls the interaction among the concurrent transactions to ensure the consistency of the database. So these are the main concerns of the transaction management system. You can have a look at the transaction management slide. First, basically, what is the transaction and how it could be managed. Just have a look. I am giving you the time of 2 to 3 minutes. Just have a look. Next is database architecture. So, what is database architecture? The architecture of the database system is greatly influenced by database architecture. As the name implies, what will be the architecture of the database? So, the architecture of the database system is greatly influenced by major factors. For example, the underlying computer system on which the database is running, and mainly it is concerned with centralized client server, parallel, distributed. Now coming to the types of database architecture. Centralized database system is having full flash for one chapter for understanding the details about the centralized database architecture. Same is the case with client server architecture database system. There is full flash one chapter, but this is not available in DBMS system. This is available in the advanced subject, that is RDBMS, Relational Database Management System. So I am just telling you the overview about the database architecture. What will be the architecture of the database? Because you are supposed to learn the basic details about the database first, then you can dig deep into the particular structure or architecture if you wish to do so. So first is centralized database architecture. Centralized we have discussed so many times in the database till date, because today it is, I think, my 12th lecture, and I have discussed almost in every lecture about the centralized database system. Centralized database system is the database system who is managing the database at the center of the organization, and who is the single point of contact with all other persons who are present in the university or the organization. So he is alone the person who is handling the database, and that is located at the center of the university. Mean to say, it is having one central point where all the details related to the college or the organization is available at a single place. So it is centrally available, and various accesses, right accesses, are given to the users who can have who are supposed to access the database at any instant of time. So it is centrally available and it is centrally located. Next is client server. As I have already discussed about client, there will be various clients who will be reacting with the server, and server is responding clients are raising any queries to the server, and server is responding them with the outputs that they want from the system, from a particular system, because the server is there to handle the requests of the client. So in the same manner, parallel distributed system, that is in which there will be multiple processors, multiple disks will be there, who are handling the database at the single instant of the time. Next is distributed, in which it is opposite of the centralized. Centralized is single point of contact where all other interfaces could take place. Distributed mean to say, I have distributed the load between various departments in the unit, and those various departments can interact with each other in order to obtain the information about each other, or in order to exchange any kind of information that they want to share or that they want to retrieve with each other. So in this manner, distributed system comes into the picture. So I have discussed four types of architecture. Just have a look at all the four types of the architecture in the database. First is centralized, second is client server, third is parallel, fourth is distributed. If you are having any query about the same, you can ask me, because you are supposed to learn these at the basic level. What is the meaning of centralized database system and how does it work? Similarly, what is client server system, how does it work, and maybe what is the need of the same, or what is the objective of the same. Similarly, what is parallel distributed system, how does it work, and what is the outcome. Similarly, what is distributed system, what is the outcome of using the distributed system. Just have a look at all the four architectures. I can give you the example of the distributed, sorry, centralized database management system, so that you can clearly understand the same. Just wait, if I can draw it, I am drawing it. Let me have an overall system structure is this. I want to show you the centralized databases. Actually, I think I have discussed about centralized and distributed database architecture in even parallel and client server architecture in the second or third lecture. You can just have a look at that lecture. You will be having better understanding because I discussed that with the help of the pictorial representation. Right now, I am not having the access to that PPT, so I am just telling you in brief how the centralized database management system could work. For example, there is the centralized database system of the Gyan University, and there are four departments in the Gyan University. First is finance department, second is computer science department, third is agriculture department, and fourth is HR department. So all the four departments are having direct link with the central database management systems or centralized database system. So in this way, four departments are, instead of interacting with each other, they are directly contacting with the single point of contact, that is centralized database management system. And it could be, its example is, it could be used by banks, it could be used by companies, it could be used by colleges. So next is parallel database system. I think parallel database system has not been discussed, so I am discussing about the same in detail. So what is the parallel database system? Nowadays organizations need to handle huge amount of data. Obviously a lot of data is available. Even a person who is just being born into this, on this planet, is supposed to store data about his birth details, about his pictures, like what he will look like, or what are the pictures of his first day, what are the pictures of his second day when he was born, what are the pictures of the third day when he was born, what are the dresses that he or she should wear, he has worn on that particular day. So all the database that is related to a particular person, we start storing it from the day, since the day we are born, because nowadays it is very common in the new generation. So the huge database is required. That is why there is the need of the cloud storage, because it can handle ample amount of data, because hard disk could be limited to a certain amount. But if we are storing data on the cloud, then I can store ample amount of data without any problem. So nowadays organizations need to handle the huge amount of data with the high transfer rate. High transfer rate means to say quick responses are required when and wherever the data is required. So for such requirements, the client server or centralized system is not efficient. With the need to improve the efficiency of the system, the concept of the parallel database comes in the picture. A parallel database system seeks to improve the performance. Why we introduce a new system into the database? Because we want quick response, we want to handle it, we want it to handle the queries efficiently in the quick manner. So that is why parallel database was given birth to handle such queries. So why the need was there to introduce the parallel database system? So multiple resources like CPUs, disks are used in parallel. The operations are performed simultaneously as opposed to serial processing. A parallel server can allow access to a single database by users on multiple machines. So it also perform many parallelized operations. Like parallel operation mean to say many processes are running in parallel or in serialization. For example, data loading at one place, query processing at other place, building indexes at the another third place, and evaluation of the queries at the next parallel. Mean to say at the same time they are doing four types of operations. So what will be the advantages of doing the parallel processing in the database? There would be the performance improvement, as I told you earlier. Second is high availability, and third is proper resource utilization, because one need not to be sit in the queue in order to wait for our turn so that our queries could be processed. Next is increased reliability. When one site fails, the execution can continue with the another site available which is having the copy of the data, so making the system more reliable. So the performance measurements of the database, which include the speed up, scale up, speed up and scale up. So next is, I think it is difficult to handle have a look at the structure. This is the overall system structure of the database. This is the data, these are the indices, these are the data dictionary, that is data about the data. This is the statistical data that is being there. So how these are being fed to the buffer manager, these are managed fed to the file manager. So this is the overall system structure, how the data is handled in the database. So have a look at these are all concerned with the disk storage, how that data will be stored in the disk, in the indices data, data dictionary, and statistical data, that is mathematical data that is required for performing calculation. So next is the storage manager, how he is handling the data. So it is the responsibility of the manager to whom he wants to give access to the particular piece of the information. So first is the data, where the data is stored. Next, there is the manager who is handling the data. So you can have a look at these: buffer manager, file manager, authorization and integrity manager, transaction manager. Next is, there will be different number of queries that will be handled at the query processor. So DML is there, manipulation language, compiler, linker, application programmer. Next is how query could be evaluated, definition of the language could be there, that is to define the schemas. So next is the end users. Next is the end user. So these are the four parts at which the structure is maintained. First is disk storage, second is storage manager, third is query. Obviously, first of all, I need random data. Second, in order to handle the data or in order to arrange the data, I require manager. Similarly, if I am having ample amount of data, what is its use? So that I can handle the request. So that is why query processor is there. So who is asking the queries and whom I am supposed to respond for the particular query, to give response to the particular query. So there are the users that are there. So this was about the overall system structure of the database. Next is, you can have a look at database application architecture. Database application architecture, 2 tier and 3 tier. 2 tier was old and 3 tier is new, that is modern. So first the user was there and the application was there. How? So this was the system of the client and this was the system of the server. This was working at the server side, this was working at the client side. So in client side, user and applications will be there as we have discussed in the previous slide, and there is the server side, that is database management system is there, who is receiving the queries and responding to the particular query raised by the user via particular application. So this is the 2 tier architecture. It could be a network via the server is responding, internet could be there. So similarly, user and application client could be there, web browser is there. So the application server is also there and database system is also there. So this is the 3 tier architecture that is being followed nowadays. So this was about your database class, in which I have discussed about database users. What are database users? what are the various types of database users. Second, what is DBA, what is the role of the DBA. Third, transaction management. Fourth, storage management. Fifth, architecture. So there are various types of architecture that are available, and the parallel architecture that I have discussed so far was the parallel management system, database management system. So in the end, I am discussing about the database application architecture that is either two tier or three tier. Two tier was used in earlier days and three tier is used nowadays. So just have a look at these. I will discuss about the three tier architecture in detail in the next lecture. You can just have a look at it so that you can have the understanding, basic understanding about the same. What is client, what is server, what is application client, what is application server, what is network, what is web browser, what is three tier architecture, all in all. So just have a look. I am giving you the time of 1 to 2 minutes. In addition, I have discussed overall system structure where four parts were there, that is disk storage, storage manager, query processor, and users. Just have a look at the three tier architecture. So this was all about my today's lecture. If you are having any query, you can ask me. Reference book is given, that is book by course, that is available in our college library. Get it issued and have a look at the book. So next is MCQ, that is given for your understand, so that I can assess your understanding. There are various questions that are being there, that are related to the today's lecture. There will be 1 to 10 questions that you are supposed to do, and these are the multiple choice questions, and you are supposed to pick any one answer. Just have a look at all the questions. Which of the following is used for performing tasks like creating the structure of the relation, deleting relation? Just have a look at all these. I am giving you the time of 2 minutes. Have a look and submit me the answers via my email ID. In addition, I am giving you the assignment about parallel database management system. Parallel database management system. You are supposed to give a brief introduction about parallel database management system, and this is the question for all of you, and I need distinct replies from all of you. And I will take presentation from any of you could be asked to present the parallel database management system in the next class. So be prepared with the parallel database management system. What is parallel distributed management system? What is the need for parallel distributed management, a parallel database management system, and how it is different from the others database management system? So this is your assignment for the today's class. I can ask anybody to present the same, so have a unique view about parallel database management system. I will ask you in the next class. I hope you are done with the MCQs of today's class. Just have a look at those MCQs quickly. So this was all about today's class. Thank you. Have a nice day.